Hello.
Right. Oh, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. There's been like some really weird things going on out there because there's been a big yellow thing in the sky shining.
No, I thought you just meant the world in general.
Not this time, not this time. But yeah, it's been lovely because we've had a bit of sunshine, so it's just made everything a bit easier and everybody a bit smilier. So smilier, smile, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's been good. How
We
about
had
you?
one day of it yesterday, but it's
Mhm.
grey again today. But I was in Ireland at the weekend. I was in Mayo, which was lovely, and we went to Galway for the day, and we experienced every season in 3 hours.
As
Um,
is the way.
as is the way. And it was so funny because I'd looked at something on Google, and you know, when you get the generated kind of questions,
Yeah.
and one of them was, what should people not, or what should people not do when they go to Ireland? And I was a bit like,
Oh.
what should you not do? Is there stuff you shouldn't do? And it was just all this, like, it was all just pulled from like a travel website. But one of the things was, don't just pack for one season. And I was like,
Oh,
that's actually very good
yeah.
because we saw hailstone, there was torrential rain, there was like
Mm.
beaming sunshine. It was just crazy, but it was very nice.
Isn't Galway where Liam, aka Angelus, aka Angel, is
Yeah.
from?
So,
And also, I want to say that's where claddagh rings come
yeah,
from originally. Yeah.
which I is that why Angel is from there? That's what I was asking
Probably
Luke.
they probably did a bit of research, not on
Yeah.
Google in those days, but they probably did a little bit of research. And one of the writers was like, "Oh, I've always liked these like really cool retro rings. I wonder where they're from."
Yeah.
And then it all came from there, maybe.
But there was a plaque in Galway that said, in this place, Liam O'Connor, I want to say,
Yeah,
even
I
though I don't think
think.
that was ever canon. Um, he was bitten here and turned into a vampire. But it's now gone.
Oh, that's a shame.
I know it was taken off. It was on like one of those little lock um things. I
Yeah,
don't know. You know, the thing that you open like a
a
lock
gate. Oh, a
a
door.
lock lock. No, the you
I
have to
know what
like
you mean.
turn it to
Yeah,
open the gate
yeah,
of the lock.
yeah.
Um,
I get you.
so it was on one of those, but somebody has, we didn't go and see it because it was a bit of a trek and it was raining.
Mm.
But when you look on Google Maps, somebody has drawn the Buffy from Hush
Oh, brilliant.
on it and said like RIP Buffy plaque.
Yeah,
So yeah, so that was quite
that's
funny.
cool.
Yeah. Which actually brings me to what I'm reading or
Oh,
who
how
I'm reading
funny. Go on.
because I copied you and you asked me last week, had I ever read any Buffy books?
Yeah.
And I hadn't. I'd read one and I didn't like it. And you said that there was a trilogy that was really good. So I looked it up and I found
The whole
the
thing.
box set. Look how good that is.
Oh, fancy.
Um, on eBay, and I sent
Mm,
an offer for a fiver and I got it. So
bargain.
that's my next read, I think. But the books are tiny, like not
Yeah,
skinny, but like the
yeah.
size of them, they're much smaller than a modern paperback. Oh, so we match.
I'm holding up the same book. And I yeah, they're so tiny and the text is like it's like really good value for money because you
Oh,
it's
right.
just so the pages are completely filled. But yeah, I remember reading this when I was at university and I read it in the summer holidays because I didn't do much reading when I was at uni. And I remember absolutely loving it. So I'm reading, I've got about, I'm not there, I'm about a quarter of the way through and I'm like, I don't know if this is holding up, but that
Oh,
might just be me. And
yeah.
because I would have just read it in like a couple of days back then, and I'm reading
Yeah.
it over a longer period. But it is so lovely to hold and read. And I love Christopher Golden. I've read lots of his books, and him and
Yeah.
Nancy Holder, I think, did like the Watcher's Guides and stuff. I want to say, like the official. Have you got them there?
I've got them, but I think oh, I
Excuse
do, but
me.
they're tucked under a load of other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're just so there's a reference to this Gatekeeper trilogy in Pros and Cons, where she's chatting to somebody, the main character's chatting to somebody because he's reading one of the books from Vampire Falls, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't remember what I called it, but I called it the Something Keeper trilogy."
Ah,
So yeah, that's in there. But yeah, it's just nice to read because it's all like she's trying to get hold of Giles, and like he sent her a thing on her pager and all this sort of
oh,
stuff.
yeah,
Anyway, yeah, how funny that we
I
picked the
know.
same book.
Well, I do have another one, but this is
Oh.
cheating.
Oh,
I've got the
nice
arc for
one.
my new book, Paint Me
It's
Like a Good
so
Girls.
it's so pink and beautiful.
It is,
And
isn't it?
Cynthia's holding it up. It just looks like it was just made to be in this room with
Yeah,
her.
it is.
100%. It's a great cover and it's a great title.
It is, and it was most requested on NetGalley
It
last
was.
week in
Yeah, for
YA
quite a while, like a
for
few
nearly a
days, wasn't it?
week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's cool.
Yeah, that's a good start.
So please leave it a nice review.
Yeah.
Um, and before we move on, just really quickly, I want to plug a couple of events because I always mean to do it and then
Mm,
I just totally forget. So I'm doing an event in York with Criminally Good Books on the 8th of March.
it looks
It's
amazing.
yeah, it's in Merchants Hall, I think, but it's this unbelievable like medieval hall. But it's me, Rosie Talbot, Catherine Foxfield, and Amy McCaw, and
Mm,
we're just gonna talk all things kind of thriller and horror and spooky for an hour. And it's like £7. So if you're
bargain.
in York or near York, come and see
Mm.
us. And then I'm in Belgium in
Oh,
April,
yes.
which is really cool. So if you are in Belgium,
Yeah.
come and see me in Ghent. I am there's so many authors there that I couldn't even name them all. Um, but I know there's a few international ones. I know there's a few local ones, and that just looks like the most gorgeous day ever. And it's my first international event. So
Yay.
that's exciting. So that's on Saturday, the 4th of April, and that's with Standard Book Handle, which is
Love
definitely
it.
not how you say the name of that bookshop, but it's like the Belgian Waterstones.
Oh,
Yeah,
that would be lovely. What an adventure.
I know.
That is one of the only things that I have done that you have not done in our publishing thing, isn't
That's
it?
true. Yeah, because you did a French event, didn't you?
Yeah, went to Lille. It was lovely. It was beautiful. Anyway,
Shall we move on to talk about our
let's.
guest?
This is very
I
exciting.
know. My niece has asked the listener question this week as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's really cool.
yeah. Okay, so today we have got an author who I'm actually really excited to hear their journey to how they became an author because it's quite different from anyone we've had so far. And I am, of course, talking about the wonderful Beth Reekles. Beth is the author of the best-selling YA series, The Kissing Booth, which, of course, is just iconic now. Netflix picked it up for a full trilogy, alongside several other rom-com books. She's had a Waterstones Welsh Book of the Month last year, which I didn't even know was a thing, which is really
No.
cool. And her book today that we're going to talk about is called For Real This Time. Beth is a self-confessed nerd and rom-com fan, but she's now a full-time author. She lives in South Wales. She enjoys movies, a good cup of tea, and crochet. And I'm going to say she enjoys a good chat because I've
Yeah.
been to a party with Beth. And at one point, I just said, Beth, I'm really sorry. I'm old. I have to go to bed now because she just could have gossiped all night. So I am going to let her in.
Let her in. Let her in. Beth, hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I, yay. There you are. Oh, look at that background.
Hi.
All of you clothes.
Yay.
Thank you. So, especially for you guys, of course.
Very nice.
Oh,
And I've just mentioned your crochet habit and you have a beautiful cardigan. Did you make that cardigan?
I did. I finished it last night.
Well done.
it's
Amazing.
it's absolutely gorgeous. And can I say, it feels like a little peak of spring. Do you know what I mean?
That's
Because
exactly what I thought when I picked the colours
oh,
out. So thank you.
yes. Yes,
Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
definitely.
thank you. Oh,
Well,
it's so nice to be chatting to you guys.
yeah, it's nice to see you. I was just saying that you like crochet and all of the other things that are in your bio. And I said you also like a gossip. And one night I told you that I had to go to bed because I was so tired because we've been up gossiping for so long.
That was a
But
great night, though.
it was a good night. I promise not to do that today. So, Beth, you have got your new book. Is it out yet? Is it out this week?
It's out next Thursday, the 26th of Feb.
Fab. So when this comes out, it will be out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Be out this week. It's called For Real this time. And it's got a lot in common with George's upcoming book because it's a rom-com and it's about fandom. So I feel like you two are going to have loads to talk about.
Absolutely.
Yay. If it's nerdy, then I'm in. So
that's exactly my philosophy as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love the cover as well. It's absolutely gorgeous.
The cover designer was absolutely incredible, and I love the artwork and everything. The colors just really, really pop, and they look so cool.
It does actually, because I don't think I've not got any orange books on my shelf. Like just looking, I've got one, and it's a middle grade.
To be honest, I was a little bit scared of the orange the first time I saw it, just because it was so different and so bold. And I thought, no, do you know what? Trust the process.
Yeah.
Trust them. They've done so brilliantly with all the rest of the cover.
Yeah, it looks. Yeah.
As soon as I got out of the box, I was like, yeah, that was right.
That's it. And you know what? It's out now, and we need that kind of colour. So it's like Georgia was just saying about spring colours.
Yeah, daffodils. And because it's quite, it works really nicely with. Do you ship it?
Yes. Sorry.
The yellow and the pink. So yeah, that's beautiful. They were made to go with each other, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Right, Beth. I was just saying, I'm really excited about this one because we like to ask everyone how they got from like day one to now of their publishing journey. And yours is slightly different to anyone we've had on so far.
Oh, okay.
So,
a bit outside the norm, I suppose. But
yeah, I feel like it's like the dream one. It's the one that when you are a kid and you're doing stuff and you're having your little daydreams.
Yeah.
That is what it was. So rather than me talk about it, you tell us, how did you end up where you are?
Well, I guess the day one is kind of back to childhood. I was always that kid in class writing stories, or you'd be assigned a creative writing task in a lesson, and everyone else would do like 1 to 2 sides at most in the exercise book, and I'd be doing like 5 or 6, and I'd want to stay in through my break time to finish it. And I'd go home and I'd be like, that wasn't what I wanted to do. It wasn't right. And I'd redo the story in my own time and stuff. And then when I moved up to comprehensive school, my parents gave me an old laptop to do homework on. And I was like, yeah, I will use this for super serious stuff, like writing little books and romance stories and stuff like that. And when I was 15, I discovered Wattpad, which is an online story sharing platform for anyone who hasn't heard of it before. And there were just thousands of people posting books for you to read for free. And I was like, it felt like a very female audience and a lot of young people on there. So it very much felt to me, approaching it as a reader, like, oh, this place is just full of other people like me who like to write and are posting their books. I could do that. And I didn't tell anyone in real life that I liked writing because it felt like a very weird hobby. Like none of my friends were into it. I was always the quiet, weird, bookish one, which if you read For Real this time, like Anissa's whole vibe is very much who I was in high school. And I didn't tell people I liked writing. So it was really nice for me to find a community of other people that were doing that. So I started posting on there. I started posting the kissing booth when I was like 15 in the middle of GCSE revision, which like if there are any 15-year-old listeners approaching GCSE revision, then like that's very important and you probably shouldn't start writing a book then.
That's called procrastination.
Also, why not? It's good fun. And I stayed up late doing it, and I would post the chapters late at night because Wattpad had a very American audience. So I'd sort of think, okay, well, I can catch any sort of European readers on their way to bed and the Americans as they're coming out of school. And then like in the morning, I'd wake up and I'd check my laptop before school and see if I had any comments on the chapters from the night before. So I was always writing slightly ahead of where I was posting as well. And like always giving myself several days, like sort of 3 to 5 days in between updates, just to have time to be able to keep writing. So I was kind of treating it a little bit business-like from that perspective. But I was just writing it for fun because everything at the time was very paranormal romance off the back of Twilight. So it was all love triangles with the bad boy, which I loved a bad boy character. But the male best friend was always a love interest, and I was so sick of that. And I was also just a bit tired of paranormal romance. So I thought I just want a regular high school romance with a boy best friend who is just a best friend, and it never gets messy. And I thought I could just write that. And then when I was 17,
and you did.
Yeah, when I was 17, so a while after I'd been posting on Wattpad, I was home from school and I kept like I was still using Wattpad, and I would come home and I would check my emails and all the comments and messages. But at that point, there were so many that I couldn't keep up with them. So I'd just try and check as many as I could, try and reply to people. And I happened to open a message that was someone saying, "Hi, I'm an editor at Random House. We love your book and would like to publish it. Here's my email and my phone number if you want to like get in touch and we can hop on a call." And I obviously like freak out because that's the dream.
Yeah.
And in my like I'd looked into publishing and I thought, oh, you have to like get agents and it's like really difficult, and you got to be like really old to publish a book. You got to be like 40. Like I don't know why that was in my head, but I was like, yeah, you got to be like that's the point at which you could publish a book.
A grown up.
So I'll just sort of shelf that part of my dreams until then. But then I had this email from this editor, ran into my parents freaking out, and they're obviously sort of saying, okay, well, we've got to check this woman's legit. Let's look her up on LinkedIn. Let's Google her. Okay, we send an email, set up a call. Me and my dad went down to visit the next week because it was October half term. I just sent in my UCAS applications for uni.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
And we walk into this meeting room and there's just like huge piles of books on the table, and they're like, you can take those. You can you can have them. And I'm like, where do I sign? Would you like my soul while waiting? It's free books. I'm in. And my dad's there, like reading through the contract, going, "What about this force majeure clause? Does that go both ways, or is it just for you? Because it feels like it should be both ways." And they're like, "Yeah, it does, doesn't it?" So I was kind of under the illusion that a literary agent was just a middleman that would steal your money. And I had managed to skip that step. But now I after my 3-book deal, then I did go and get a literary agent. So I was very backwards in the way I did that as well.
And your dad was kind of your like
he was my
sort of honorary. Yeah.
So he was my honorary agent who would help out and he'd read all my contracts with me. He actually had to sign them as well at the time because I was a legal minor.
Wow.
So I wasn't allowed to sign my own publishing contract on my own. I then later went on to get a literary agent who does far more than just take a cut of the money. And in hindsight, I would have liked to have reached out to one at the beginning, but like hindsight's 2020. And I'm still happy that I went ahead as I did. And the book came out when I was 17. Sold the movie rights very quickly for The Kissing Booth. And then several years later, the film started coming out and that all took off again. And now I have been a full-time author for a couple of years and I've got my 17th book out.
Amazing.
I know.
So that's it.
It really is, like Cynthia said, it's like the dream. When you talk to people about wanting to become an author, that your story is what they have in their head.
Yeah.
Like, like, oh, well, someone will just see it and it will, this will happen and then that will happen and then you'll get the film deal. And I mean, do you ever, you must just have thought you were in a dream when it was all happening and so young as well.
I think because I was so young, I didn't like fully comprehend the scale and the potential, because it was just like, oh, I'd love to have a book published. Oh, I'm going to get a book published. Cool.
Yeah.
Did it just feel like this must be how it happens?
Yeah. And my parents were like, okay, you still got to go to uni. And I was like, well, yeah, obviously that was my plan anyway. This isn't going to derail that. I still, like, I did physics at uni, so because I was just interested in it. And then I worked in tech after that, in the IT industry. So I kind of still did everything else that I wanted to do, and the writing was just also always there that I was
Mm.
working on in the background, or that I'd have to take some time off over Christmas to manage and stuff like that. Um, and I don't think it really hit me the scale of it until we were doing the film, because my dad came out to set with me the first time for the first film, and the company I was working with at the time was a financial audit company who graciously gave me 5 days of leave to go to
Oh my
set.
God.
Um,
Guys.
yeah, and they filmed in Cape Town for the most part, because apparently it was
Wow.
cheaper to film, but it looks like LA.
Mm.
And they're filming this massive party scene, and it's like a night shoot, and there's like crew everywhere, like people sort of arranging the red plastic cups just so, and like putting weights in them just to like, kind of dress the scene. And there's hundreds of extras and everything around, as well as like the main cast as well. And my dad just looked at me. He's like, all of these people are here right now. Like hundreds of people are here employed because you were a weird 15-year-old that shut yourself in your room and wrote a book.
Oh
And I was like,
my
oh,
gosh.
well
That's
done, weird kid me. Like,
that gave me goosebumps, and
I'm crying.
I'm also crying. Yes, that's amazing, and he's so absolutely right. And actually, you never even it's just not something you would think
yeah.
without somebody else pointing that out to you. Oh,
Yeah,
well done,
I was
Dad.
just there vibing and having a great time.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, whoa, this is
Amazing.
That's a
impressive.
very
Oh,
practical dad thing to say, actually, when you think
Yeah.
about it, isn't it? And,
yeah,
you know, yeah. And another level of pride for him. That's really lovely.
that is.
Oh,
Did you and your dad get to be in it? Are you extras?
I am. My dad was not. He went back to the hotel for a sleep, but I stayed up all through the night shoots. I think I
amazing.
ran on about 3 hours sleep, like from a nap at one point, because
I
I was
need
just
to watch it now
bouncing
to
off the
do
walls.
spot the bet. Maybe we should make up a drinking game and it can
Yeah.
be just spot Beth. Just down
Well,
your drink, whatever Beth appears.
so fun behind the scenes fact is that my cameo is during the birthday party scene at the kissing booth. So like when everyone's singing happy birthday around the table, I am there in a yellow like 1920s flapper dress with a blue feather boa, and
Oh,
my hair
wow.
is up in like little pin curls and everything. But it's a wig. It's the same color as my hair, but it's a wig, and it means I haven't got my fringe. And I sent a selfie to my mum after I come out of the makeup tent, and she said, "She's pretty. Who's that?" And
Thanks,
I just
Mum.
remember thinking, well, if my own mother didn't recognise my cameo, I don't know how I'm expecting anyone else to. But I looked fabulous and I had the best time.
Oh, I
Oh,
bet. Yeah, I
sounds
need
so
to watch
good.
it again now. That is
Yeah.
brilliant. That's so lovely. And thank you for sharing your story because it's such a lovely one. And me and Cynthia actually met via Wattpad. And
No way.
yeah, and I know occasionally there's like a new film that will come out and it will be originally, and so it's just such an amazing platform for
Yeah.
writers and for creativity. And I remember that feeling because I put my first book on there, and Wattpad picked it for like a I can't remember what they called it, like a spotlight. So
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
it was on the front, it was on the landing page, and I hadn't really had much in like people reading it until that point, and then all of a sudden it just went wild. And I remember Sunday evenings was just me sitting there reading all these comments from people who were reading and loving it, and it
Yeah.
was just such a gorgeous experience. And I read quite a lot on there as well, but at the time I was trying to get an agent as well, and of course getting nowhere, sometimes not
Yeah.
even getting a response, getting lots of rejections. So to be in a community like that where everyone is just giving you so much love for this story that
Yeah.
you're
There's so
telling.
much
And
encouragement and
oh
support, and just
yeah,
even
it's
like people think can't wait for the next chapter, and you think, thanks.
Yeah.
yeah. And as you say, like people all over the world, because when you were saying about what time you were loading
Yeah.
up and stuff, because it has such a big population of people in the States. Like I remember doing that as well and thinking what time's going to be the best time. And yeah, it was just it's such a joy. It's such a, it was such a joyful experience. And of course it turned out incredibly well for you.
Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, I actually I got my adult publishing deals as well, kind of because of Wattpad, because during the pandemic, I started writing a like Love Actually style rom-com, but make it pandemic. Because I thought, it's March, we got nothing to do except make banana bread and watch Tiger King. So I just need a project to get me through these couple of weeks of
Yeah.
lockdown. So I wrote like 5 sort of short interconnected stories to post one a week and post it on Wattpad, and it ended up becoming my debut adult novel instead.
Oh, I feel really like emotional. I just feel so like positive and joyful at the moment, just from talking about Wattpad. And I also think it's the cardigan and the covers and everything. So yeah, no, it's like I said, it's a really good community. It's a good place to start, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
It is.
It's that immediate connection to your readers and just thinking, I don't like you, even if you love your book so much that you're writing, you get those moments of, I don't know, I like it, but is anyone else going to like it?
Yeah.
My friend said they do, but like, they're my friend, they've got to say that. So complete strangers who owe you nothing and who could just X out without saying anything, have taken the time to read it, say, I love this, can't wait for the next part, or I really liked this bit, or oh, that made me laugh. And that just like shifts your whole mood so much. It gives you so much encouragement and motivation.
It does. It does, because it's such a isolating
Yeah.
thing, writing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and
Aww.
especially if you don't tell anyone that you're doing it, because I didn't really.
Yeah.
And I was just sticking things on Wattpad, and yeah, getting just people responding was amazing. When you were writing The Kissing Booth, were you like writing it live essentially? Or
Pretty
did you
much.
have, yeah?
Yeah, I usually had at least a couple of chapters in the bank. But that was mainly because when I started writing it, I thought, I know I'm going to post this on Wattpad. So I won't post until I've got quite a few chapters. And I posted the first 3 all in one go. And then I would just do one chapter at a time. But I was also way ahead of where I was posting on Wattpad, just because I was having so much fun writing it. Like, I wasn't thinking, oh, I need to sit down and write the next chapter. I was just like, oh my God, I've got all these scenes and interactions in my head that I need to get down on paper. I need to like tell this story.
And is that your approach now? Do you write in a similar way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm terrible at plotting in advance, and I'm really bad at just sort of saying, oh, I'm just going to write this one chapter. Because I will say, oh, I'll just finish this chapter and then I'll sort out my dinner. And it's like 10,000 words later. And I think, okay, I should probably actually just go to bed at this point. It's a bit late in the day. And I'll sort of stop at a scene, or just if I'm a bit stuck and I need to kind of take a breather rather than going chapter by chapter on stuff.
Oh. So we normally talk to our guests about a bit of research that they've done.
Yeah.
And have you brought a little bit of research that you'd like to talk to us about today?
So I haven't got any particular research that I've done for my books, or weird searches that I might have to delete my history about.
That you want to talk about.
Do.
We get it.
Well, they were all just, thing is, it's a small collection of lots of weird little ones. Like, can you grow apple trees in Florida? Because that was something in my second book that someone on Wattpad told me, you can't do that. They're not there. And I thought, maybe they're not. I'm none the wiser.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, you can.
Right.
I've gone down the Google rabbit hole. It's fine.
Why would somebody say that?
I don't know if maybe they just believe that. I don't think they did it to be malicious. I think they were genuinely trying to be helpful. But
you can grow most things in Florida, can't you?
Yeah.
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
Because I just remember thinking, maybe I need to make it orange trees.
Yeah.
Florida says oranges.
And the other thing is as well with this was this very central to the plot, because this is what happens when you go on these research, like down these research rabbit holes. You're like, okay, this doesn't really matter, but I just need to know now.
I mean, I could have taken it out, but I was too attached and I was too deep at that point. in my books in Sealy or Anna Sherwood, they work at an EV company, electric vehicles, and the company that I used to work for had some involvement in that. So I had kind of a general awareness of how EVs work, but it got to a point where I had to look at, do they require coolant fluid?
Oh,
Because I just
wow.
like thrown that into the book, and I thought, do you know, I've never checked. I think I'd better, because I'm sure there's someone out there who'd read this and would know.
Yeah.
But my favorite piece of deep dive research that I had to do was my adult novel, The Reunion, that came out about 2 years ago now. It's like a multi POV, 10 years later high school reunion story taking place over one night, and you've got two of the characters are like the brainiac and the jock, and they hated each other all at school, still hate each other now. Obviously it's very tense and romantic, and they sneak off to the chemistry labs and there's chemistry. And there was a line that I wrote in where she called him incorrigible, and he said, he said something like, don't you think that's a big word or I'm surprised you would have thought that's a big word for me, or something along those lines. And I put it in because in every Once Upon a Time Captain Swan fanfic that I have ever written, I have always written a scene, no matter what the fic was, where Emma Swan would call Killian Jones Captain Hook incorrigible, and he would turn around and say, that's a mighty big word for a humble pirate such as myself. And the characters in The Reunion, just like, they had that kind of dynamic going. So I put the incorrigible line in and the little banter. And it was only just in copy edits I thought, shit, is that... Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to swear. I thought, oh no.
Okay, don't worry.
I thought, oh no, is that actually like canon Once Upon a Time material that I've stolen from the show? Because I had no idea. It was so ingrained in my head as like a Captain Swan moment. And I'm like trying to draw.
Isn't it in Sound of Music as well?
I have no idea.
I'm sure there's a bit where one of the kids is called incorrigible and he's kind of like, oh, thanks. And it's not meant to be a compliment. I'm sure that's in Sound of Music. So maybe they've stolen it from that. And then
yeah.
I've obviously just conflated all of this because it turned out it wasn't in Once Upon a Time ever. But I was like trawling through episodes. I'm trying to Google and do like the nichest Google searches I can to try and find it. And in the end, I went to TikTok and I posted, and I was hopeful that some of the Once Upon a Time fans would help me out. And a lot of people were just like, I don't know, but it sounds like exactly their kind of line. So if it wasn't canon, well done. And then this one girl commented and said, I've actually got like PDF copies of all of the scripts. I'll be right back.
Oh.
And she like Control F the word incorrigible through every script, and she came back, she's like, it's not anywhere, you're fine, you can use it.
Amazing.
And I was like, thank you, stranger on the internet.
The internet can be used for good.
Yeah.
Yes, and Kurt Von Trapp is described as incorrigible by Maria, Sister Maria.
Yeah.
Before
I knew
she
it was
confirm.
Yeah. So you've just borrowed it slightly from Sound of Music. That's fine. Yeah. Surely that's nearly out of copyright by now.
It's just such a good word, though, isn't it?
It is a good word.
Do you, when you're planning another book or you've got an idea for another book, and because you're writing in their set like stateside, aren't they, primarily? So
in the Kissing Booth, they were. My recent books, I've all moved back to the UK.
Oh, okay. So how did you research it was just Google? Were you just Googling everything?
I just didn't.
Yeah.
And that I think I should have. But I was 15 and like, why would I have done that?
Yeah.
I kind of went in with this approach of, because the ages and I need them to be able to drive and have cars and a bit of freedom and stuff. I thought it doesn't work in the UK, and also a kissing booth is not something I feel we'd ever have in the UK.
No.
But I'd see, it's popped up in films like She's the Man and whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'll just set in America, and also I'd have to explain the British schooling system
Mm,
to a global audience who like the frame of reference I feel for high school is American movies,
mm,
um, whereas like the British school system reference for many people might have just been Hogwarts, and I just didn't want to have to deal with all of the explanation in the plot.
yeah.
So I put it in America, and I was like, I've seen enough episodes of 90210 and Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
I get it. I don't get it. I still don't get the US schooling system altogether. But lucky for me, there was not that much heavy detail on like what classes they were doing, what time they
Mm,
were in class, stuff like that. It was just they're there and
yeah.
Yeah.
everything's fine.
Always have to check when I'm reading something and it says, "Oh, he was in grade 12," and I'm like, I don't know what age is that? Is that
Yeah.
like year 12? What is that?
I think
Is
it's
Grade 12 is
similar.
year 13,
Right.
which
and
I've banked in my memory thanks to Meg Cabot's Mediator series
uh
that school runs K through 12. So 12th grade is as old as you get in school, which makes it year
Okay.
13. So I
okay.
always have to like go back to that. And I don't know why that one stuck, but
No, if it
thanks,
works.
Meg
And
Cabot.
Yeah.
yeah, she's amazing. Um, I can't remember why I was doing this because I don't think I actually, it was obviously for a book, but I was in touch with some American writers. This must be ages ago. And I was asking them about Letterman jackets.
Yeah.
And I was like, what would you call it? Do you call it a Letterman jacket? And this, that, and the other. And the consensus was that it wasn't a thing. And they were like, we don't
That.
do that. It's really rare that you even see that now. I was absolutely heartbroken.
Boo.
Oh
I was like, well,
God.
I'm still going to have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They feel like a staple.
I know.
Yeah,
Riverdale still had them, mind you.
exactly. Which
Maybe
was
not
very
the best.
realistic.
It's so
Yeah.
realistic.
One of the things that I did sort of play a bit fast and loose with for Kiss of Booth setting was that I just wanted them to have a uniform at school so I didn't have to
Mm.
think about outfits that they were going to
Yeah.
wear all the time. So I was just like, I don't know how to explain it. They wear a uniform to school, and that just accept that fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Don't ask me
some
questions.
do, don't they? Like private schools, cruel intention style,
And the
Yeah,
craft.
or like prep, yeah, Catholic prep schools.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask so you had done it on Wattpad, you
yeah,
got this message, which of course nowadays would be from some scammer somewhere who
yeah,
just wanted, like, it was definitely of a time where you could, I mean, did you do diligence and everything? Because it could have still been somebody like, I don't know, faking, don't know what the end game would have been.
yeah.
But when you got to Penguin, signed the deal, what were the edits like? Was there much in it, or did they
They,
kind of go with what you'd already done?
yeah, so they were like barely any edits done because I'd sort of gone back and edited the book and taken a lot of stuff out because I kind of thought that there was a bit of filler stuff or there was just bits of storyline. I was like, we just sort of spiraled into episodes of 90210 and Pretty Little Liars over there. Let's just cut that out.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't need it. Um, so I'd done quite a heavy edit just for myself,
Mm.
um, just to feel nice about the book, not because I thought it was going to go anywhere. And by the time then I had the publishing deal and I was like, they said, oh, there's quite a lot of stuff that we'd like to tweak. And I said, that's fine. I've already tweaked some stuff, so you can have that version. And they were like, oh, you've probably taken out like all of the chapters we were going to suggest. So they cut a lot more of the filler, which I was a bit sad to see go because people still enjoyed that a lot
Mm.
when they were reading on
Yeah.
Wattpad. And I kind of had the comments as evidence, but I was also like, yeah, it's a very long book. Let's like, you guys know best, whatever. Um, and yeah, we just did a couple of very quick rounds of edits, and it was out because so it was October half term that me and my dad went to London, and the ebook was out by like the 12th of December because they wanted it
Wow.
out for
Whoa.
Christmas.
That's That's incredible.
The
Yeah,
paperback was out in April because obviously we needed they just needed a longer lead time for that, but the ebook was out very quickly.
that's amazing.
Isn't it?
Crazy. Publishing can be very fast when it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now
When it
people are
wants
like,
to
"Oh,
be.
what are you working on?" And I'm like, "A book that you might see in 2 to 3 years. I don't know."
Mm.
Yeah, this is it. Like now at the minute, I'm a full one ahead. So my one that's out
Yeah,
in July has been like done and dusted for a while, and I'm writing the one that's out in 2027.
yeah. It's
Um, you
it's a bit
know,
trippy, isn't it?
yeah, you just never know where it's
I've
gonna
got
fall.
I've got one coming out in 2028. I don't even know what it's called or what it's about. And I'm like, how am I supposed to even know what I'm doing then in 2028? Like, where will I
Yeah,
even be?
I know.
Yeah, it's weird.
Just crazy.
Um, Cynthia, do we have any questions from listeners this week?
Yes, we do. We have a question from my niece, Kyla,
Ah,
was utterly obsessed with Kissing Booth. And I'm really glad that you said you were there on set because her question was, is Jacob Elordi as fit in real life as he is on TV?
I really thought you were going to say as tall as he looks then, because that's the question I usually get. Yes,
Just
And
yes.
also as tall. Is he as
yes,
tall?
he's
Because
He
he does
does
he is
look
that tall.
incredibly tall.
he does look huge.
He's very
Mm.
tall. But yeah, I like it was just really fun when I went to set because everyone was so lovely and it was just amazing to meet everyone. And he was the perfect Noah because
Mm.
I remember chatting and thinking, but he's just so nice. And then all of a sudden he like put the leather jacket on, put a toothpick in his mouth, did the smirk, and I think I like punched my dad in the arm. I was like, did you see that? He's just like he just turned from Jacob into Noah.
Oh,
That was wild.
Oh, that's.
brilliant.
Have you watched Heated Rivalry, Beth? Is
Not
this
yet.
not yet? There's the main character in that, Ilya
Yeah,
Rozanov. I think it's Rozanov, who's Russian. Um, seeing him as an actor in real life, it, it's just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable because he's like this really aggressive Russian ice hockey player. And on interviews, he's just absolutely delightful. Like he's
yeah.
just this gorgeous ray of sunshine. And somebody said it's like watching what's the Spider-Man one with it's not Spider-Man, Tom Hardy, Venom, where
Oh
like just
yeah,
this sort of thing comes over him and he's like this completely different person. But to see it, to be on set and seeing it must have been such a treat for you.
yeah. It was just really surreal and magical because you just got to see these characters that have lived in your head for so long just coming to life. And
Yeah, it must be unreal, like a dream, just
yeah,
an utter dream-like moment. Yeah, The Kissing Booth is one of those books and films though that will have like it's got its little iconic status already just because of what the actors have like gone on to do.
yeah,
Mm,
So it really
yeah.
broke out some of those actors because obviously Jacob Elordi's in like everything. Um, you
And
know,
you're responsible, Beth. You're
yeah,
responsible for their,
you like your dad said, you give them a job. But like Joey King is in a Taylor
yeah.
Swift video, so you've got like
yeah.
1 degree of separation to Taylor Swift, Beth.
I was about to say that's one of the fun things that me and my friends will do is just every so often they'll be like, "Oh my God, did you see Joey King was on stage with Taylor at the Eras Tough? We're 2 degrees away from Taylor Swift because
Yeah,
of you, Beth."
that's it. That means I'm 3 degrees away from her because I know you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There we go. I'm claiming it.
I was just wondering, out of all of your other books, did you say you've 17 published
yeah.
now? Um, which would be your dream one to be made into a film out of all of those at the moment?
I I say that it won't be Christmas without you, which is my Christmas book because I love Christmas and I think that would make a really fun Christmas film. It's about twin sisters who are stuck on their own for Christmas because their parents go abroad for the first year and they both try and have perfect Christmas in their own very different ways. Um, but funnily enough, I was thinking this morning how fun it would be to see the reunion as a movie just because I think that would like really lend itself to chaos and sort of good one-liners and funny moments and drama and a really cool cast. I have no idea. I never know who I would cast in my books,
No,
No.
me
but
neither.
I think they'd find a really fun cast for that one.
Mm. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I ever know what my cast look like. My
I
cast, sorry, that's me, my imaginary
yeah.
film
Yeah,
that I'm producing.
I very rarely do because it's a question you get asked a lot actually on panels and things, isn't
yeah.
it? You know, they say,
Mm.
who would your dream cast be? Um, and it's very rarely that I've had a character arrive in my head and go, oh, actually, it's this person. It's this kind
Mm.
of famous person. It, I don't, yeah, I don't work like that. I wonder if anyone else actually does, or if it's just the odd person now and then.
Mm. I
Yeah,
think I did maybe early on
interesting.
when I first started writing because there is that like, yes, this will be made into a film. Who would be in it?
Yeah, but we all did
Um,
that. The end of my
yeah,
Wattpad story, like I'd set it in a particular place because I thought when they film it,
yeah,
we can actually
It's a
go
bullet
there and it's going to look amazing.
day.
But yeah. Right, Beth, before we let you go and ask you about social media and stuff, can you pitch us your new book? Because that's what we forgot to do.
Absolutely. So, For Real This Time is a nerdy enemies to lovers rom-com. It follows weird kid and misfit Anissa, who ends up getting work experience on the set of her favorite fantasy TV show and literally runs into Callum, who is portraying her comfort character. So, not even just her favorite character, but her comfort character.
oh,
And he ends up writing Anissa off as a thirsty, obsessive fangirl and has such a bad attitude that she starts to question her entire attachment to his character and the fandom as a whole.
oh,
But she is also a game master for a tabletop roleplay game, so uses that to kind of take out her frustration with Callum on his character in game. And she writes some fanfic to sort of process her growing attraction and her crush on Callum. And it's kind of about them growing up, like figuring out who they are and falling in love with each other, however reluctantly, as enemies to lovers.
oh.
Oh,
Sign me up. I'm in. And the fantasy TV show that she's working on, what's it called?
It's called Of Wrath and Rune, which, if
Oh yes, I
anyone
have.
has read Do You Ship It, it's the same fantasy series from that one. So you can read Do You Ship It and For Real This Time separately. You can read For Real This Time first if you like, but they do have kind of interconnected characters and the same sort of world.
oh, I didn't
So
realize that.
yeah, so if
I love
you
that.
if you liked Do You Ship It,
Mm.
then the characters will make a comeback in book two.
Oh, that's
Well, I say
Oh,
fun.
book two in sort of quotation marks.
yeah, I love
And
that though. All same universe and kind of
yeah.
all
Yeah,
know each other.
and it did save me having to build another fantasy TV series from scratch.
Yes, very true. Well, if anyone knows about that, it's Georgia, because that's exactly what she did for her.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
got 7 seasons of TV show, and
okay.
I have big bads for each of them, each
Oh my
season,
goodness.
arcs for everybody, and of course it doesn't feature. It
Yeah, I
doesn't
was going to
feature in
say
the book at all.
got it saved in documents where it's all been cut out and
Exactly.
there's just a hint
Yeah,
of it sometimes.
yeah. At the beginning of every chapter, there's a little bit of dialogue from the TV show. So my TV show is called Vampire Falls. And
Amazing.
so there's like a little, and what the dialogue normally kind of relates to what's happening in the chapter.
Yeah,
So that's why I had to make up the entire show and
yeah.
all of the, the storylines and everything. So
How are you supposed to have characters that can talk about this show if it's too
exactly,
two-dimensional?
exactly. So yeah, oh yeah, love that. And actually, I have snuck Vampire Falls into book two because I've got another
Amazing.
another book out next year. Totally, as you say, like totally different, totally
Yeah,
standalone, but there's just a mention of it. So,
a nice
and
little
I think,
throwback.
yeah, I
Yeah,
love seeing that in books though. I
me
love
too.
reading it. I know I was going to say Stephen King does it, but that's slightly different.
Yeah.
But when you're reading something and you're like, oh, and is it I can't Fangirl or Rainbow
Oh,
Rowell
Rainbow
did
Rap.
it.
Well, she wrote then an entire book based on the
Yes,
the
Yeah.
yeah.
fictional program, didn't she?
Simon Snow. But
Yeah.
I think there's a couple that appear in an adult novel, I think. And I think it's the couple from Fangirl, I want to say. They just
Oh,
feature in it. And I've seen her people saying, "Oh, is this so?" And she's like, "Well, if you think it is, it probably is," which is
yeah.
really I love that. So
Yeah. Just
yeah.
I
feels
do it.
rewarding as a reader when you see it.
I think so. Because
Yeah.
you do when you're invested in a series or in an author, you do see these things. I've got something in all of mine that links back to another one. Um, I Dead It appears a lot. So I've got a book called
Yeah.
The Midnight Game where half of it is on an online thread called Dead It. So in my book that's coming out in July, there's a Dead It thread in there, and
Love that.
one of the characters is the same character from, or one of the characters from The Midnight Game who survived. Um,
Yeah.
he's back on
And
it. Yeah.
Kat Ellis did it with The Devouring Light with her latest one. There's a mention of a director. And I was like, I recognise this director's name. Is it a real director? And then I was like, oh, and I checked. Is it Hallow Lake or Harrow Lake? No,
Harrow Lake, yeah.
Harrow Lake, and it's the character from that book.
It
And I
is
messaged Kat
exciting.
and I was like, "Oh, this is so exciting!" She's like, "It's not the only one that's in there. Have you spotted any others?" And I was like, "Oh, oh!" It's like, "Where's Wally?"
Yeah. But then you
I
panic that you've not seen the
Yeah.
others.
I did put a tiny like half kissing booth reference in Do You Ship It? Because the
Oh,
main character in that one, Keris, she's not a fangirl at all. She approaches fandom with quite a judgy lens initially. And she is a big rom-com fan. So she keeps talking about rom-com moments and different movies and like key moments from it that she wants to reenact or like experience for herself in her own life. And she talks about some of her favorite rom-com actresses. And I remember my editor had said, "Oh, I think we need someone else." And I was like, I mean, I want to say Joey King, but that feels too
yeah.
meta. And she was like, "No, do it.
Yeah.
Mention
They'll
it."
love it.
Do
They'll
it.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
I love it when editors are like, yes, go for
Yeah.
it. Like
It was too on the nose to
enablers.
actually put the kissing booth in there, I thought. But
Yeah. No, I like it. Good meta moment. Oh,
So, Beth, just quickly before we go, are
yeah.
you reading and are you having time to read at the moment? What are you enjoying?
Oh, just barely reading. I've got Elle Nichols' brand new debut novel, though. Debut adult novel,
oh,
An Apologetic
Um,
Love Story.
that's it.
All I could think then was
Yes.
Some Like It Cold, because it's
Yeah.
like
yeah.
I was
that
thinking,
is one of my favorite romance books. It's also by Elle,
oh,
and I I was just like, it's not that one. Don't say that one. It's not that one.
I've done an event with Elle. She's lovely.
But yeah, so that's like out on the coffee table, ready to be read next.
Excellent.
lovely.
Beth, where can we find you online?
I am on Instagram at author Beth Reekles, and I'm on TikTok at Beth Reekles for a little bit of chaos, crochet, writing memes, the whole lot.
You are very good at TikTok, I've got to say.
Thanks.
Wow.
I'm not sure I am, but I'm having fun, so I think
Well,
that counts
you
for something.
yeah, you come up with more ideas than I ever possibly could. So that's where I think good at TikTok.
Well, thank you.
Oh, Fab, thank you so much.
Yeah,
No, this
thank
has
you so
been
much for having
lovely.
me. It was really great to chat.
Good luck with the new book.
Thank you
Yes,
very much.
I can't wait to read that one.
I know.
Yeah,
And
I
Yay.
hope you like it.
hopefully see you soon.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.
Bye.
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 Browser history deleted.